The Alien Child's Nightmare. Zixi was a small alien child from the peaceful planet Zora. He had big round eyes that sparkled like stars and skin that changed colors based on his mood. Today, Zixi was scared, and his skin had turned a pale blue. Zixi didn't know how he got here. One minute, he was playing in the fields near his home, chasing colorful butterflies. The next, a bright light appeared, and now he was in this cold, dark place. The walls were made of shiny metal, and strange sounds echoed all around him. "Where am I?" Zixi whispered, his voice shaking. He hugged himself tightly, wishing he was back home with his parents. Suddenly, a door slid open with a hiss. Tall figures walked in, their faces hidden behind masks. Zixi's eyes grew wide with fear. These weren't the friendly aliens he was used to seeing. These were members of the Galactic Council, known throughout the universe for their strict rules and harsh punishments. "Subject acquired," one of them said in a robotic voice. "Begin the tests." Zixi didn't understand what they meant, but he knew it wasn't good. He tried to run, but his little legs weren't fast enough. A council member grabbed him, lifting him off the ground. "No, please," Zixi cried out, his skin turning a deep, frightened purple. The council members didn't listen. They carried Zixi to a room filled with strange machines. Blinking lights and beeping sounds were everywhere. In the middle of the room was a table with straps. They put Zixi on the table and tied him down. The little alien child struggled, but it was no use. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he called out for his parents. "Commencing tests," another council member announced. A big machine lowered from the ceiling. It had many arms, each holding a different tool. Zixi closed his eyes, too scared to look. The machine started to buzz and whir. Zixi felt a sharp pain in his arm. He cried out, his voice echoing in the room. The council members just watched, taking notes on their tablets. "Interesting reaction," one of them said. "Increase the intensity." The pain got worse. Zixi's cries turned into screams. His skin flashed different colors, red, yellow, green, as waves of pain and fear washed over him. What Zixi didn't know was that his screams weren't just staying in the room. They were somehow traveling through space, carried by an energy that the council's machines couldn't detect. As Zixi suffered, something strange started to happen. The lights in the room flickered. The machines sparked. The council members looked at each other, confused. "What's happening?" one asked. "Unknown energy detected," another answered, checking the readings on a screen. Zixi's body started to glow. At first, it was faint, but it grew brighter and brighter. The council members stepped back, shielding their eyes. "Stop the tests," someone shouted, but it was too late. A burst of energy exploded from Zixi's body. It knocked the council members off their feet and shut down all the machines. For a moment, everything was quiet. Zixi opened his eyes. The straps holding him down had broken. He sat up, looking at his hands in wonder. They were glowing with a soft, warm light. What happened?" Zixi asked himself, his voice barely a whisper. The council members started to get up, groaning. They looked at Zixi with a mix of fear and curiosity. "The subject. It has powers we've never seen before," one of them said. Zixi didn't understand what was going on, but he knew this was his chance to escape. He jumped off the table and ran towards the door. The council members tried to catch him, but Zixi was too quick. He ran through the halls, his glowing body lighting the way. Alarms started blaring, and red lights flashed everywhere. Zixi's heart was racing, but he kept running. Finally, he saw a window. Outside was the darkness of space, filled with twinkling stars. Zixi pressed his face against the glass, trying to spot his home planet. But all he could see were unfamiliar stars and a blue-green planet he had never seen before. Little did Zixi know, his cries for help had traveled far across space. They were heading towards that blue-green planet, Earth. And soon, the humans there would hear his call. Back in the room, the council members were trying to make sense of what had happened. "We must recapture the subject," the leader said. "Its power could be the key to controlling the entire galaxy." They started a search, determined to find Zixi. But the little alien child was cleverer than they thought. He had found a small air vent and crawled inside, making himself as small as possible. As Zixi hid, trembling with fear, he didn't realize that his adventure was just beginning. His powers were growing stronger, and soon they would attract the attention of beings from across the galaxy, including the humans of Earth. Far away on Earth, in a secret underground lab, a young scientist named Sarah was working late. She was monitoring signals from space, hoping to find signs of alien life. Suddenly, her computer started beeping wildly. "What's this?" Sarah said, leaning closer to the screen. A strange signal was coming through, unlike anything she had seen before. As she listened, Sarah's eyes widened. It wasn't just a signal. It was a cry for help, and it was coming from a child. "Oh my God," Sarah whispered. She quickly sent out a message to her superiors. "We need to do something. There's a child out there, and it's in danger." Little did Sarah know, her discovery would soon set off a chain of events that would change the galaxy forever. Humans would rise up to save Zixi, and in doing so, they would find themselves in the biggest war the universe had ever seen. As for Zixi, he was still hiding in the air vent, his body glowing softly. He was scared and alone, but deep inside, a power was growing. A power that would shape the destiny of entire worlds. The adventure had only just begun. Humans to the rescue. Sarah couldn't believe her ears. The strange signal from space was getting stronger. She had been listening to it for hours now, trying to make sense of the weird sounds. But now, finally, she understood. It was a cry for help from an alien child. "This is incredible," Sarah whispered to herself. Her eyes were wide with excitement as she stared at her computer screen. The lab around her was quiet. Everyone else had gone home hours ago. Suddenly, Sarah jumped up from her chair. "I need to tell someone about this," she said. She grabbed her phone and called her boss, Dr. Johnson. "Dr. Johnson, it's Sarah. You need to come to the lab right now. I found something amazing." 30 minutes later, Dr. Johnson rushed into the lab. He was still wearing his pajamas under his coat. "This better be good, Sarah," he grumbled. Sarah played the signal for him. At first, Dr. Johnson looked confused. But as he listened, his eyes grew wider and wider. "Is that a child?" he asked, his voice shaking. Sarah nodded. "An alien child. And it sounds like it's in pain." Dr. Johnson sat down heavily in a chair. "This changes everything," he said. "We need to tell the government." Within hours, the news had spread. Government officials, scientists, and military leaders from all over the world gathered for an emergency meeting. They all wanted to hear the strange signal. As the signal played, the room fell silent. Everyone could hear the fear and pain in the alien child's cries. When it was over, the room exploded with noise. Everyone was talking at once. "We have to do something," shouted one leader. "But how?" "We don't even know where this child is," said another. In the middle of all this chaos, a young military officer named Captain Alex stood up. "I have an idea," he said. Everyone turned to look at him. Captain Alex was known for his clever plans and bravery in tough situations. "We may not know exactly where the child is," Alex said, "but we know the signal is coming from somewhere in the Orion star system. I say we send a rescue mission." The room was quiet for a moment. Then, slowly, people started to nod. "But who would go on such a dangerous mission?" someone asked. Captain Alex stood up straighter. "I'll go," he said, "and I bet I can find other brave people to come with me." The world leaders looked at each other. Finally, the President of the United States stood up. "Captain Alex is right," she said. "We can't just sit here and do nothing. We'll send a rescue mission. But we'll need to keep it a secret. We don't want to start a panic." Everyone agreed. They would build a secret space fleet, gather the best pilots and soldiers, and send them to rescue the alien child. But keeping such a big secret wasn't easy. People all over the world started to notice strange things happening. New factories were being built. Scientists and soldiers were disappearing for weeks at a time. Something big was going on. Rumors started to spread. Some people said the world was preparing for war. Others said aliens were already among us. Nobody knew the truth. Meanwhile, Sarah and Dr. Johnson worked day and night to learn more about the alien signal. They discovered that the child's cries had strange powers. They could travel faster than light and pass through solid objects. "This child must be very special," Sarah said one day. "I wonder why it was taken." As the rescue mission was being prepared, something unexpected happened. A man named Jack, who worked as a cleaner in the secret space base, overheard some soldiers talking about the mission. Jack was scared. He didn't want humans to go to space and maybe start a war with aliens, so he decided to warn the aliens. Late one night, Jack snuck into the communication room. He found the biggest radio antenna and sent a message into space. "Attention aliens," he said. "Humans are coming to attack you. Be ready." Jack thought he was doing the right thing, but he didn't know that his message would make things much worse. In space, the Galactic Council received Jack's message. They were already angry about losing the alien child, Zixi. Now they thought humans were coming to attack them. "We must prepare for war," the council leader said. "These humans are more dangerous than we thought." Back on Earth, the rescue mission was almost ready. Captain Alex had gathered a team of brave men and women. They had the fastest spaceships ever built and the best weapons. But they didn't know that they were flying into a trap. The Galactic Council was waiting for them, ready for war. As the Earth ships prepared to launch, Sarah made an amazing discovery. She found a way to talk back to Zixi. "Hello. Can you hear me?" Sarah said into the radio. At first, there was only static. Then, a small, frightened voice answered. Hello. Who are you?" It was Zixi. Sarah's heart raced with excitement. "I'm Sarah. I'm a human from planet Earth. We're coming to help you." "Please hurry," Zixi said. "I'm scared. The council is looking for me." Sarah promised Zixi that help was on the way. But as she ended the call, she felt worried. She knew the rescue mission would be dangerous. But now, it seemed even more important than ever. As the Earth ships blasted off into space, the whole world held its breath. The greatest adventure in human history was about to begin. But would it end in a heroic rescue or a terrible war? Captain Alex looked out the window of his spaceship at the stars rushing by. "Hold on, little alien," he said quietly. "We're coming." The epic space battle begins. The darkness of space was suddenly lit up by the bright engines of Earth's secret fleet. Hundreds of ships, big and small, appeared out of nowhere. They had been hiding behind Earth's moon, waiting for the right moment to attack. Captain Alex stood on the bridge of the biggest ship, the Star Defender. He looked at the stars ahead, knowing that somewhere out there, a scared alien child named Zixi was waiting for help. "All ships, report in," Alex said into his radio. One by one, the other ship captains answered. They were all ready for the biggest fight of their lives. "Remember," Alex said to everyone, "our mission is to rescue Zixi and stop the Galactic Council. Try not to destroy their planets if we can avoid it." Suddenly, alarms started blaring. Red lights flashed on all the ships. "Captain," shouted Lisa, Alex's second-in-command. "We've got company." Alex looked at the big screen in front of him. Hundreds of alien ships were coming towards them. They were Galactic Council ships, and they didn't look friendly. "They must have known we were coming," Alex said. "Everyone, get ready for battle." The space between the two fleets was quiet for a moment. Then, all at once, it exploded with light and noise. Lasers shot back and forth between the ships. Explosions lit up the darkness of space like fireworks. Small fighter ships zoomed around, chasing each other and firing their weapons. On the Star Defender, Alex was giving orders as fast as he could. Blue team, attack their left flank. Red team, defend our smaller ships. The battle was chaos. Ships from both sides were getting hit. Some exploded in big balls of fire. Others drifted away, damaged and unable to fight. But the Earth ships had a secret weapon. They had studied Zixie's energy signals and made special shields that could block the Council's strongest weapons. Our shields are holding, Lisa shouted happily. We're pushing them back. Alex nodded, but he wasn't completely happy. We're winning the battle, he said, but we still haven't found Zixie. Just then, Sarah's voice came through on the radio. She was back on Earth, watching the battle through powerful telescopes. Alex, she said, sounding excited. I found Zixie. He's on the big ship in the middle of the Council fleet. Alex looked at the screen. There, in the center of all the fighting, was a massive ship. It was bigger than anything he had ever seen. That must be the Council's main ship, Alex said. Zixie's in there somewhere. We have to get to it. But getting to the Council's main ship wasn't easy. It was protected by hundreds of smaller ships. Every time the Earth fleet tried to get close, they were pushed back. We need a new plan, Alex said, thinking hard. That's when he saw something strange. One of the Council's ships was flying in a weird way. It wasn't attacking, and it seemed to be trying to avoid the fighting. Zoom in on that ship, Alex told Lisa. As they watched, they saw the ship flash its lights in a pattern. It was a message in Earth's secret code. It's Zixie, Alex shouted. He's taken control of that ship somehow. Excited, Alex sent a message back to Zixie's ship. We see you, Zixie. We're coming to help. But the Council had noticed the strange ship too. Suddenly, all their attacks focused on Zixie's stolen ship. We have to protect him, Alex yelled. All ships, defend Zixie at all costs. The Earth fleet changed its plan. Instead of attacking, they formed a protective circle around Zixie's ship. Lasers and explosions filled the space around them as they fought off the Council's attacks. Slowly, carefully, they started to move away from the battle. The Council ships followed, firing their weapons nonstop. We're almost out, Lisa said, just a little further. But then, something unexpected happened. The Council's main ship started to glow with a strange light. It was powering up some kind of super weapon. Evasive maneuvers, Alex shouted. But he knew they couldn't move fast enough while protecting Zixie's ship. The Council's super weapon fired. A massive beam of energy shot towards the Earth fleet. Everyone closed their eyes, sure that this was the end. But the beam never hit them. At the last second, Zixie's ship moved in front of the Earth fleet. The beam hit it instead. For a moment, Zixie's ship glowed brightly. Then, amazingly, the beam bounced off it and shot back towards the Council's main ship. The Council wasn't ready for their own weapon to be turned against them. Their main ship took the full force of the blast. It exploded in a huge fireball, lighting up space brighter than any star. With their main ship gone, the rest of the Council fleet started to retreat. The Earth ships cheered. They had won. Quickly, Alex's ship moved close to Zixie's. They used a special beam to bring Zixie aboard the Star Defender. When the doors opened, everyone was surprised. Instead of a scary alien, they saw a small, cute creature with big eyes and color-changing skin. Zixie looked up at them, scared but hopeful. It's okay, Alex said gently, kneeling down. You're safe now. We're going to take you home. Zixie's skin changed to a happy yellow color. He ran to Alex and gave him a big hug. As the Earth fleet started their journey home, with Zixie safe among them, Alex looked out at the stars. The battle was over, but he had a feeling their adventures were just beginning. What would happen now? How would the galaxy change? And what other secrets did Zixi and his powers hold? Whatever came next, Earth was ready to face it, together with their new alien friend. Saving Zixi and burning worlds. The Star Defender zoomed through space, leading the Earth fleet back home. Inside, Captain Alex watched as Zixi slept peacefully in a special bed. The little alien looked so small and harmless. It was hard to believe he had such amazing powers. Suddenly, alarms started blaring. Red lights flashed everywhere. "What's happening?" Alex shouted, running to the control room. Lisa, his second in command, looked worried. "Captain, we've got a problem. A big one." She pointed to the main screen. Alex's eyes widened in shock. Behind them, entire planets were on fire. "How is this possible?" Alex asked, not believing his eyes. "It's the Council, sir," Lisa explained. "They're burning their own worlds to stop us from using them." Alex couldn't believe it. The Galactic Council was destroying everything just to get revenge. "We have to stop them." Alex said, "Wake up, Zixi. We need his help." But when they went to get Zixi, he was already awake. The little alien's eyes were glowing with a strange light. "Zixi," Alex said softly, "are you okay?" Zixi turned to look at him. When he spoke, his voice sounded different, older somehow. "I remember now," Zixi said. "I remember who I am." Alex and Lisa looked at each other, confused. "What do you mean?" Lisa asked. "I'm not just a child," Zixi explained. "I'm the last of an ancient race. We had the power to create or destroy entire worlds." Everyone in the room gasped. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. "The Council found out about my powers," Zixi continued. "They wanted to use me as a weapon. That's why they took me." Alex knelt down next to Zixi. "We won't let them hurt you," he promised. "But right now, we need your help. The Council is burning worlds. Can you stop them?" Zixi nodded. "I can try, but I'll need your help too." Together, they made a plan. The Earth fleet would distract the Council ships, while Zixi used his powers to save the burning planets. As they got closer to the first burning world, Alex couldn't help but feel scared. The planet's oceans were boiling. Its forests were all on fire. It looked like the end of the world. "Now, Zixi!" Alex shouted. Zixi closed his eyes and raised his hands. A blue light shot out from his fingertips, spreading over the planet like a giant blanket. At first, nothing seemed to happen. But then, slowly, the fires started to go out. The oceans stopped boiling. Green plants started to grow again. "It's working," Lisa shouted excitedly. But saving a planet took a lot of energy. After he was done, Zixi fell to the ground, exhausted. "Are you okay?" Alex asked, worried. Zixi nodded weakly. "I'll be fine, but there are more planets to save." As they moved from planet to planet, Zixi kept using his powers to heal the burning worlds. But each time, it got harder for him. Meanwhile, the Earth fleet was having its own problems. The Council ships were attacking with everything they had. Many Earth ships were damaged or destroyed. "We can't keep this up much longer," Lisa warned Alex. Alex knew she was right. They needed a new plan. That's when he noticed something strange. Some of the Council ships weren't fighting. Instead, they were running away. "Look." Alex pointed at the screen. "Not all the Council agrees with this destruction. Some of them are leaving." This gave Alex an idea. He grabbed the radio and started sending out a message to all the ships, both Earth and Council. "Attention everyone," he said. "This war is pointless. We're all going to lose if we keep fighting. Join us in saving these worlds instead of destroying them." For a moment, everything was quiet. Then, amazingly, some of the Council ships started to turn around. They were coming to help. With the extra help, they were able to save more planets faster. Zixi showed some of the friendly aliens how to use their own energy to help heal the worlds. But not everyone wanted peace. The Council leaders were still attacking, and they had one last trick up their sleeves. "Captain," Lisa shouted, "they're aiming some kind of super weapon at Zixie's home planet." Alex looked at the screen in horror. Zixie's beautiful homeworld was in the weapons sights. "We'll never get there in time," Lisa said, sounding defeated. But Zixie wasn't ready to give up. "I have an idea," he said, "but it's dangerous." Before anyone could stop him, Zixie started to glow. His whole body lit up like a star. "Zixie, wait." Alex tried to grab him, but his hand passed right through Zixie's glowing body. In a flash of light, Zixie disappeared. A second later, he appeared on the screen, floating in space between his home planet and the Council's weapon. The Council fired their weapon. A huge beam of energy shot towards Zixie and his planet. Everyone on the Star Defender held their breath. This was it. Either Zixie would save his world, or everything would be lost. As the beam reached Zixie, something amazing happened. Instead of destroying him, the beam seemed to go into him. Zixie's body grew brighter and brighter, until he was shining like a sun. Then, with a yell that somehow everyone in space could hear, Zixie released all that energy. It spread out in a huge wave, washing over all the planets and ships. When the light faded, everyone was amazed. All the burning worlds were healed. The Council's weapons were gone, and floating in space, unconscious but alive, was Zixie. Quickly, Alex's ship went to pick up Zixie. As they brought him aboard, Alex couldn't help but smile. Against all odds, they had won. They had saved Zixie, saved whole worlds, and maybe even brought peace to the galaxy. As Zixie slowly opened his eyes, Alex knelt down beside him. "You did it, Zixie," he said softly. "You saved everyone." Zixie smiled weakly. "No," he said. "We did it. Together." As the Earth fleet started their journey home, with new alien friends by their side, Alex knew that this was just the beginning. A new age of peace and friendship was starting in the galaxy, and Earth, with Zixie's help, would lead the way. A new galaxy is born. The Star Defender, Earth's biggest spaceship, landed slowly on a beautiful green planet. This was Zixie's home world, and it looked like a paradise. The sky was purple, with two suns shining brightly. Strange, colorful animals walked around peacefully. Captain Alex stepped out of the ship, followed by Zixie and the rest of the crew. They had just finished a long journey across the galaxy, visiting all the planets that had been in the war. "It's so good to be home," Zixie said, his skin turning a happy yellow color. Alex smiled at the little alien who had become his friend. "You did it, Zixie. You brought peace to the galaxy." But Zixie shook his head. "We all did it together," he said. Just then, a group of aliens that looked like Zixie came running towards them. They were all different colors and sizes. "Zixie," they shouted, "you're back." Zixie ran to meet them, laughing and changing colors rapidly. It was a happy reunion. While Zixie was with his family, Alex looked around. He saw humans from Earth mixing with aliens from all over the galaxy. They were talking, laughing, and making friends. It was an amazing sight. "Captain," Lisa said, walking up to Alex, "the leaders are ready for the big meeting." Alex nodded. It was time to decide the future of the galaxy. Inside a big, beautiful building made of crystal, leaders from Earth and all the alien worlds had gathered. The old Galactic Council leaders were there too, but they didn't look very happy. Zixie sat in the middle, looking much older and wiser than the little kid they had rescued. His powers had grown, and now everyone knew he was special. "We're here to create a new system," Zixie said, his voice strong and clear. "One where all worlds and all beings are treated fairly." The Earth President stood up. "We suggest forming a new council," she said. "One where every planet has a voice." Some of the old council leaders didn't like this idea. "But we've always been in charge," one of them shouted. "And look where that got us," Alex said, standing up. "A war that almost destroyed everything." The room got quiet. Everyone knew Alex was right. Then, a tall alien with 4 arms stood up. "I agree with the humans," he said. "It's time for a change." One by one, more aliens stood up, agreeing. The old council leaders saw that they were outnumbered. "Fine," the head of the old council said. "But who will lead this new council?" Everyone looked at Zixi, but Zixi shook his head. "I have too much power," he said. "It wouldn't be fair. I think Earth should lead." This surprised everyone, especially the humans. "But we're new to all this," the Earth president said. "We don't know much about the galaxy yet." Zixi smiled. "That's why you're perfect," he said. "You'll listen and learn. You'll be fair to everyone because you don't have old grudges." After a lot of talking, everyone agreed. Earth would lead the new Galactic Alliance, with help from Zixi and other worlds. As the meeting ended, Alex felt both excited and a little scared. Earth was now in charge of keeping peace in the whole galaxy. It was a big job. Over the next few weeks, amazing things happened. Ships from Earth started taking humans to other planets to learn and explore. Aliens came to Earth too, bringing new technologies and ideas. One day, Alex was watching a news report about all the changes. Scientists on Earth had already cured several diseases using alien medicine, and Earth's ships could now travel faster than ever before, thanks to alien technology. But not everything was perfect. Some humans were scared of the aliens, and some aliens didn't trust humans. "We need to do something," Alex said to Zixi, who was visiting Earth. "People need to understand each other better." Zixi thought for a moment, then smiled. "I have an idea," he said. A month later, the first Galactic Culture Festival was held on Earth. Aliens from all over the galaxy came to share their food, music, and stories. Humans loved it. The festival was a huge success. People realized that even though aliens looked different, they weren't so different on the inside. Everyone wanted peace, friendship, and a good life. As Alex walked through the festival with Zixi, he saw human kids playing with alien kids. He saw humans trying alien food and aliens dancing to Earth music. "This is what it's all about," Alex said, feeling happy. Zixi nodded. "A new galaxy where everyone gets along," he said. But just then, Alex's phone beeped. It was an urgent message from the new Galactic Alliance. "What is it?" Zixi asked, seeing Alex's worried face. "They found something at the edge of the galaxy," Alex said. "Something big and unknown. They want us to go check it out." Zixi's skin turned an excited blue color. "A new adventure," he said. Alex couldn't help but smile. Yes, there would always be new challenges, but now, the galaxy faced them together. As they walked back to the Star Defender, ready for their next mission, Alex looked up at the stars. The galaxy had changed so much. Earth was now a big part of a huge, exciting universe. Whatever was waiting for them at the edge of the galaxy, Alex knew they would face it the same way they had faced everything else. Together, as friends, with hope and courage, a new galaxy had been born, and its story was just beginning.